Good morning. It is Monday morning. I'm Casey Durango of Go Keto with Casey. Thank you for joining in. I talk about the ketogenic diet, how I have lost weight and improved my health and regained control of my life, and I like to speak to others about how they might be able to do the same. This is a live broadcast. If you do not enjoy live broadcasts, you might want to move on, because I will be interacting with the fine people who bother to show up and engage with me. And here they come popping in. Fantastic. Good morning. Standing in for PIPER is Atticus, who needs to be let in. Hold on. Thank you. Sorry about that. Hey, listen, you guys, I did something a little bit different today, and I'm just going to ask you a technical question. Did you guys get alerts ahead of time that this was going to be happening, that this live broadcast was going to start? If so, I think with a gentle nudge from Karen in Alaska, that is, I know what needs to be done now. So thank you. Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is your first day on the keto lifestyle, says Liz Pollard. Fantastic. I hope you love it. I bet you do. It is wonderful. I have found it wonderful. And there can be a little bit of a burn-in period. As we say around here, folks, what do we say? The ketogenic diet is simple. Doesn't necessarily mean it's easy. Not that it's hard. There are things that are challenging about it, but once you get through the burn-in period, Liz, I bet you love it. Make sure you keep your sodium up. I bet you've done a lot of good research. But if you have any questions, ask them. That's what we're here for. I do have a topic I want to cover today. Oh, I'm so glad that everyone's gotten here. Okay, so Karen in Alaska gently advised on one of the fora. I don't know whether it was my Go Keto with Casey Facebook page or another, but someone said, I didn't get an alert about the YouTube Live. And Karen, I think she was talking to me, says, sometimes Casey forgets to make it public. And if you don't do that, then that's why you don't get the alert. Well, I always eventually make it public. But Karen put a thought in my head, maybe I just need to go ahead and make it public way in advance, then start broadcasting. For those of you who don't know, there are two separate things to doing this. There's a Google Hangouts, which is what I'm talking to you through, and then the YouTube piece. Anyway, thank you, Karen. I think that was it. Now, Rebecca says she can't see anything. Don't know about that, because I think everyone else can see. Here's something, I got actually a question this morning, a message to me. Good morning, Janie from Oregon. A Facebook message, I think it was. Someone said, I'm just starting, and I've been on for a couple of weeks, and I'm looking at keto recipes, keto cookbooks. And some of the recipes call for flour, and some call for sugar, and some call for both. What I say in my response to the question was, in my opinion, those are not keto recipes. Keep in mind that authors and YouTube people and blog writers and food manufacturers can call just about anything keto that they want to, because it's not a regulated term. I mean, frankly, if they can put out supplements that are garlic pills and they're found to have zero garlic in them or any garlic-like substance because those supplements are not regulated, think about the free-for-all that there can be with keto or low carb. So this actually, I thought that's a good topic, because there's a lot of activity on lots of sites about, hey y'all, I just found this great recipe as a substitute for, I'm gonna make up something, chocolate glazed donuts. Now, come on, people. Let's not get crazy. Let's keep in mind. I don't know that. Alexa was talking to me again. I don't know why the computers insist on talking to me. No one was talking to you, dear.
Sorry, I'm not sure.
And yet she persists. So the ketogenic diet, the whole point is to get into ketosis. That's all that means. That you've sufficiently lowered your carbohydrate to a point where your liver is no longer shooting glucose into your system, but rather it's not shooting ketones, but your body has to start burning ketones for fuel. Now, there's a very complex physiological explanation for this, but in really basic terms, that's it. You stop burning glucose for fuel as your primary fuel, and you start burning ketones as your primary fuel. How do you get to that state? And ketones means fat, so body fat, hopefully, you're going to burn, which is why it's such an elegant, delicious way to lose body fat, because the food is so good. You simply reduce carbohydrates sufficiently. So how do you do that? You get your carbs below 20 total a day. How do you do that? You eliminate grains, starches, starchy vegetables, fruit, anything that's sugar, whether it's a raw honey or an agave or a nectar, that's all sugar. So that doesn't mean flour of any sort. You can find alternative flours that may be lower in carbs maybe than wheat flour. But come on, they're high in carbs. If you're trying to keep your total grams of carb 20 a day or lower, which is what I've done, mine average about 10 or 13, sometimes lower than that, then you can't mess around with that. I'm going to be really blunt. You can't mess around with that stuff, okay? Quit playing. Quit playing. I have a product here that was shipped to me. I talked about this before. I'm not trying to harm anyone's business, but this was sent to me because I talk about the ketogenic diet. They thought, oh, we thought our product might be great for you. So I'm going to show you the product, which we are not eating. And it says, you know, it's low carb, keto friendly, high protein and all this. And it says there are 2 servings per container. Really, we know what this product is. It's a frozen dessert product. We know that this pint isn't barely a complete serving for many of us if we get started. But I want you to look at the label. If you can read it, I hope it's not backwards. You see where the gram of carbs are? Can you read that? Okay. Per serving, 14 grams per serving. Now, what they're saying is, oh, but there's 5 grams of dietary fiber. So they're saying 9 net carbs. I don't care. Even if that was the case, which there's not really good science for the minusing out the fibers, why would you minus out the grams of fiber from the carb but not from the protein? Why wouldn't you say, oh, well, then there's only, then there's only 1 gram of protein here because I'm minusing out the fiber. I don't understand that. But anyway, and Dr. Westman says total carbs, not net. So, but even if you went with net, that's 9 grams of carb per serving. So a half a cup. Come on. That would be that'd be my daily allotment. And people are trying to squeeze these foods into the ketogenic diet. And then saying, well, it's not working for me. I don't get it. I knew it wouldn't work. Those people on the YouTubes, they lie. No. Keep your carbs below 20 a day, total, not net. Eat fatty sources of protein and eat only when you're hungry. There's a meme around that says, don't blame the butter for what the bread did. You guys heard that or read that? Don't blame the butter for what the bread did. It's funny, it's good. Well, I'd like to say, don't blame keto for what the coconut flour did. Don't blame keto for what the net carbs did. Don't blame keto for what the so-called low-carb tortillas did. Quit playing. Don't try to make food that got you here in the first place keto-friendly. You're setting yourself up for disappointment. And if it's working for you, great. If it keeps working for you, great. But if it stops working, don't blame keto for what the net carbs did. Okay, there's my little lecture. So in my opinion, a keto recipe that calls for just about anything other than, you know, some green beans or broccoli or asparagus or Brussels sprouts, and anything other than like a chicken thigh or beef or pork or bacon or sauce, and fatty sources of protein, or eggs or full fat cheese, it's not a keto recipe, man. And I think that's one reason people have trouble writing long cookbooks. Now, there are good cookbooks that are good, and the honest ones will tell you, here's how many total carbs per serving there are, not net carbs. And it'll tell you, and it'll be a human-sized portion. Now, one of the oldest around is this one, Dana Carpenter's 500 low-carb recipes, not keto. She's not saying keto. This was published in 2002. So she was around long before most of us were even thinking about keto. Dana writes a lot, and she's tough. She's a good, smart woman. These are low-carb recipes. So, and some will be lower carb, and some will be, but there are lots, and it's 500 of them. Link to it in my comments below. Cooking Keto with Christy. She just came out with a cookbook. I don't have it, but many people really have found that they love it. So just be wary, okay? And certainly these, I don't want to bother. The ingredients. Let me read you the ingredients of this frozen dessert product. And you tell me, because you have to look at labels, y'all. Let's see if I can read the ingredients. Okay, skim milk, erythritol, soluble corn fiber, cream, vegetable glycerin, or what was the one I was looking at before? It had, cane sugar, cinnamon, and then there was one that had wheat, another flavor, had some kind of wheat product in it. It's not keto. Don't blame the food products for what don't blame the keto for what the food products did. Okay, end of lecture. I do want to say a couple of things. I will not be here. I will not be broadcasting, I will say, on Friday or next Monday or the following Friday. Maybe I will be the next Monday. The people who are house sitting for us could broadcast, but I don't think they want to and have no interest in talking about the ketogenic diet. So I will not be here, but I will be hopefully taking photographs, maybe trying to get some little interviews with some of the world experts on the ketogenic low carb diet on a cruise that we're going. So wanted to let that out there. And thank you to everyone who has shown up. Hey, Pam, you are so loyal. Now, I do want to turn my attention to some of the folks who have shown up. So let's see what y'all have to say. And I apologize if you've been asking questions and making statements that I have not acknowledged. Kay Cavazos. Oh, yes, again, I've fallen off the wagon and broke a leg and poked an eye out, but I'm going to get back on because I know it works. I borrowed that story, LOL. Yeah, you fall off, you get back on. So you're never further away than the next meal, than the next thing you don't put in your mouth. Look at it that way. Hey, Betty, thank you. She says, great information this morning. I appreciate that. Valerie Toll, I've been eating more Ready Whip in the last few days and my weight loss is stalling. I was losing approximately ½ a pound per day in the last 15. Now my weight is seesawing. Think Ready Whip is the reason? Well, you know, it's not unlimited. Keep in mind, if you look at page 4, which, by the way, I finally got smart. I posted page 4. It's actually a 2-page document at the top of my blog under resources. Very first thing is page 4. It's a PDF. It's the one I use. I scraped it from the original White Coat video. There were some typos on it, so I adjusted that. I told Dr. Westman that, and he said, oh, you changed my page 4. He could have cared less. I said there were some typos in. Good morning, Terry. Terry, we have 2 sunny days in a row here. I'm so happy. We're both in the same city. Thank you. We do intend to have an awesome time. I'm so glad you love the chats, Denise. Denise loves it, says she loves the chats. Lost 5 pounds in a week by keeping it simple. Keep it simple, guys. I want to be really blunt. I understand we all learn differently. We all maybe need to hear a message a few times. So I'm going to repeat it again. Keep it simple. Keep your carbs below 20. Eat fatty sources of protein. If it's not on page 4, don't eat it. Please go to one of the many sites you can get page 4. I cannot individually send people page 4. Sorry, it's too many requests. But if you go to my blog, you'll see it. If it's not on page 4, don't eat it. And eat only when you're hungry. Don't screw around with net carbs. Now, if you're a young person and you can tolerate higher carbs, great. Find out what works for you. If you're a young man or a man in general, you might be able to tolerate higher carbs. Good for you. Find out what works for you. But 20 grams of work for most people. I keep mine well below that. Dr. Jay Wortman, who's a medical doctor and ended up, he's a Canadian doctor, and he found himself with type 2 diabetes. And he was embarrassed he said, I'm embarrassed. I was a medical doctor and I should have known better. He needs to keep his carbs around 10, even as a man, because he is just very insulin resistant. So find what works for you, but don't play around. I think I like that. Don't blame keto for what the net carbs did. I think I like that. And I think I saw Faye from the UK. Hey, Faye, haven't heard from you in a while. Hope things are going well. Polly, hi from UK. Thanks for guiding me to the keto way. 21 pounds in 32 days. Blows your mind. That would blow my mind. Holy cow. That is wonderful. Now, getting back to the Ready Whip question. Yeah, you're not going to lose half a pound a day forever. I never did. Everyone's weight loss, I weigh every day, is going to be like this, even from the very beginning. I think I was up 1.1 pounds this morning from yesterday, or maybe 0.9 pounds or something. I can go up 2 pounds. Not so much anymore, but I can. Don't sweat it. I actually have said this before. Then someone on the Keto After 40 and Beyond Facebook page quoted me and said she's going to start doing, but she put it in a way that I really like. I've always said I claim all my new lows. So as of 2 Saturdays ago, I'm down 97.4 pounds from the time I started keto. And I claim that. I have not been that low since. And I've gone up a little bit, but I'm up a little bit, right? But the way she put it was she said, Casey says she claims it. This woman had been kind of stressing out over the up, down, up, down. So she said what she started doing on a calendar, when she hits a new low, she writes that on her calendar on that day. And then she does not pay attention to the weight any other time until she writes another weight down on another day on the calendar when she hits a new low, whether it's 1/10 of a pound or what. I really like that visual because it's a trend. Your weight loss is a trend. And some days my trend lines will be like this. But depending on what's happened the previous 2 weeks. But I know that they'll balance out. It's like this, okay? Weight loss, even when you're doing it perfectly. And I will tell you, I do it pretty damn well. It's like this, okay? Don't sweat it. Stick with it. If you're getting frustrated over the number on the scale, start thinking about how you can get out of bed in the morning without it hurting. Start thinking about how you can maybe bend over and tie your shoes and you couldn't before. Maybe think about how you used to have an afternoon nap or an afternoon muffin or both. And now you don't need to because you don't even think about it. Think about those things. Think about how your joints don't hurt. Think about how you can remember how to get home. You can remember your own telephone number and you couldn't remember it before. You know, I'm not talking about dementia. I'm just talking about brain fog. Think about those things. So if the number on the scale is bothering you, forget it. Think about how you can button a pair of jeans you couldn't even get over your hips before, because that's a thing too. Right? Okay. Lisa Doria, I've been slowly transitioning my family to page 4. We've had some health problems this year, and I hope this will help them. I love that. I love that. Is your family, do they know you're doing it? Or are you doing it on the DL? Have they noticed? Do they care? Do they like it? Do you have young children in the house? I love that story. Amina Youssef. Hi, Pamela Ramsey. Thank you. Okay. Renee Reed, 123. I've gained 2 pounds in 2 weeks, and it's frustrating, but this way of eating is great. Honey, I have had months where month over month, my weight has gone up. I've certainly had weeks where week over week it's gone up, sometimes 2 times in a row, sometimes 3 weeks in a row. 2 pounds, nothing. As Zoe Harcum says, that's just one good going to the toilet for some of us. So don't worry about it. Keep it up. As long as you know you're not messing. You're not trying to sneak in fake food. Let's just put it that way. As long as you're not trying to sneak in products that are capitalizing on this. As if they thought that they could push their products as, let's say it came to be that you're on the household cleaning product diet, and it's and people are saying, oh wow, this household cleaning product diet is great. All I have to do is drink 1/2 cup of Tide laundry detergent and the weight falls off of me. You don't think they would be saying, now our product contains 88 grams of Tide laundry detergent. I mean, that's a ridiculous example. But that's what happens, folks. That frozen product, it's basically frozen product with erythritol in it and all the other stuff that we don't need. And let me tell you what, erythritol is not necessarily free. It's not unlimited. These things have carbs. Xylitol has carbs. It's not unlimited. It's not free. The whole point of this for me, I don't even want to think about food anymore. Let's stop thinking about food. I know there's a very popular site, a website that people love, and it has something about food in the title. I don't want to think about food. Food is no longer the boss of me. Food was all I thought about for years. Well, not all. I thought about some other things. But I thought about food all the time. And I also thought about being fat every hour of every day. I don't want to think about either of those things anymore. I want to live my life. I don't want to try to squeeze food that decimated my health and self-image. I don't want those fake foods. I don't want that. Okay? I think, I don't know. I think if I was an alcoholic in recovery and beer had been my drug of choice, and I was in recovery and I felt better, and my eyes were clear and my liver was repairing, and I, wasn't, ruining my life, I don't think I would want to be drinking non-alcoholic beer. I think I would want to say, no, I don't want that stuff. And I certainly don't want to trigger anything. That's my lecture. And that's towards me as much as anything. You do what you want to do. But let's not think about food so much. Okay? Let's try to get away from food managing our lives. How about we get busy just living our lives? Getting back to some of the things we didn't do for years because we were too heavy or too sore or too tired or too embarrassed. Or we thought that the people around us would be embarrassed, that we thought our children would be embarrassed of us, that our spouses were embarrassed of us, that our coworkers were talking about us behind our backs. So let's get busy. What's the saying from Shawshank Redemption? Get busy living or get busy dying. Do one or the other. Get busy making you what you think about in your life instead of thinking about food. I'm very deep this morning, aren't I? Lisa, Doria, Chrissy Hobbs, awesome for you. I hope this will help my daughter who has a substance abuse problem. Not saying that you do, but she still recently stole from family. Oh, I'm so sorry. The things that we go through, the things that other people go through. You know what? We were talking about this on the patron-only group chat. Very often food is the easy part. If you get over the burn-in period, if you get to the point where I've got this down, I know what not to eat, I'm not craving stuff, and sometimes it's not even about the food anymore. I'm finding and have been finding that as food is not in my brain, that I'm not self-conscious about the way I look, other layers have begun to peel away. Other things that I possibly had been using food and my padding to cover up have come out. Not a bunch of negative stuff, actually positive stuff. Things that I'd been missing about myself are beginning to come back. But sometimes when we get rid of our medication, our food, we actually have to deal with the feelings and the emotions and the thoughts and the past issues. And that's okay. It's good to deal with them. It's not always fun, but it's good to deal with them. If you don't face them, recognize them, acknowledge them, you can't overcome them. So having an issue to deal with is not the end of the world. You just have to deal with it. And what do we say around here, y'all? If hunger is not the problem, food is not the answer. Magnets are coming. Sherry Price writes, it's a marketing gimmick, just like when the fat-free craze and then the gluten-free. Yes, fat-free. Does anyone remember Snackwells? All of a sudden, they pulled the fat out. What they have to put in? The sugar, because there's only 3 things you can put in food. Carbs, fat, and protein. If you take out the carbs, take out the fat. I don't want to make a bad symbol here. If you take away the fat, you have to add back in sugar because you're not going to make a protein-filled Snackwell, Okay. Rainy day tips. Starting keto today, you're 230 pounds. You can do this, man. You will love this. Stick with it. Don't play around with bulletproof coffee. Don't play around with fat bombs. Don't play around with net carbs. Keep your grams of carbohydrate 20 or lower. You don't need any carbs. Carbohydrate is not an essential nutrient, okay? Contrary to popular belief and contrary to what many medical professionals think, your brain does not require glucose to function. Mine has been functioning quite well, thank you, on ketones for, over 3 years. And I'm quite healthy. All my markers are spot on perfect. So don't fall into, keep it simple. Can anyone else here attest that this is simple and that the simple approach is the most effective? You can hear me say it. Oh, I do want to share something. Let me see if I can do it. You guys found another before picture. I've already posted this, but now this was a picture. I'm going to share my screen with you in just a minute. Okay, no, Andy, I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to contradict you about the carbs and the hair loss and all that stuff. We'll come back to that, okay? I'm gonna respectfully disagree. I want you to see this before picture. This was, I was about 3.5 months in to having started keto, and I'd lost about 29, I know I had lost exactly 29.9 pounds because I have a chart that tells me on this particular day. And I was still really big. And this was after losing nearly 30 pounds, which wasn't even my heaviest. So let me see if I can share this screen, okay? Let's see if this works. I'm trying. Let's see. Nope, that didn't work. Let's try this. I've done it before. Okay, here we are. Okay, guys. Ugh. Now, I don't love the way I look there, but that was a genuine smile. I actually was so happy to have lost 30 pounds, and I felt so much better already. You can see I think I'd moved down to size 22 jeans there. They were new, or they might have been 20s, I don't remember. Extra large sweater that I couldn't button, but there we go. So I'm going to switch back, okay? Okay, everyone see that? I mean, wow. Each. Okay, I wanted to talk about the carbs. No, and carbohydrate is not essential. If people are cutting back on their carbs or eating no carbs, because I'll go for, when my husband was gone, he's now back, I went for days without eating any carbs. I ate eggs and bacon and cheese, essentially. So if there were carbs, they were minimal, but they were only from the animal products. If you're feeling unwell, it can be a burn-in period. It is most likely due to the drop in your minerals, electrolytes. So get your sodium up. This is the opposite diet. Increase your sodium, eat plenty of fat. You know, I mean, you don't have to add a lot of dietary fat. And hair loss comes up a lot. Your body will lose hair, can lose hair, anytime you change your eating pattern. Anytime you do it. So I'm going to predict that if I flip the script and I went raw vegan right now, that I would start losing hair. I started shedding hair at the beginning, and it regulates. So I don't believe that it's related to the lack of carbs. It's dietary changes. That is my understanding of the science, and I know that a carbohydrate is not essential. So, so there, again, respectfully disagree. Yes, you must listen to your body. But if your body's just saying, I want some more carbs, maybe just fight that, because your brain can be telling you want some. Particularly if you're messing around, you can stay in ketosis with increased carbs, but just high enough that you're starting to increase cravings. This is what I've heard from people, that they stay in ketosis, they start playing around, increasing the carbs just a little bit. You know, they've lost plenty of weight, but then they realize, man, I'm really starting to crave stuff now. So sometimes we have to listen to our bodies, but ignore our brains. Okay, Pamela, Susie Q, it is great. Cut metformin, Pamela, I love your stories. Cut metformin in half, looking forward to cutting it out altogether, dropping other meds for diabetes. Wow. Hey, Margie, good morning, darling. I started losing my hair 3 weeks ago. I've learned it's another step in my body transitioning to the ketogenic diet. A lot of people have like a flush of a rash. Let's think of it this way. Your body is just like Margie's saying, it might be just pushing crap out. You know, we're inflamed a lot of the time. There are inflammations everywhere on people who are glucose burners, and it's getting worse. And now they're finding inflammation is the root of so many health issues. From joint pain to mental issues, neurological disorders, certainly for cardiovascular health. And our skin is a giant organ, and so if it's going to be, you know, impacted by inflammation, you might see a flush of a rash, which will clear. Stick with it. Thank you, Margie. You're always you're so level-headed all the time. I love your contributions. Hi, Kim. Uh-oh, Kim from Germany. I'm so glad that you made it. I'm sorry I didn't see you earlier. Guten Tag. I hope that's correct. Ginger shared something that everyone's saying yay for, so that's great. Jean, Linda, my nails are also thicker, so are mine. You know what? My battery on my computer is running low. You guys, talks amongst yourselves. I'm going to run get my charger. I usually have it charged, but I don't want to knock out on you halfway. Hold, please. Sorry about that, guys. live TV. So I assume you guys have figured everything out without me. You know, that's one of the things about this. I feel like I'm a facilitator for you guys. I think I show up so that you show up, so that you all help each other. Oh, I do want to say something. Jean, who's on this morning. Sorry. Jean, who's on this morning, has started a Facebook group. Jean, if you will refresh my memory on exactly the name of it, it's for beginners. And I think if you're just starting out, you should go there, because everyone that's there and is a moderator is really smart and has really good information. This was an offshoot from the Keto After 40 and Beyond, because there were so many questions. How do I start? Now, my answer is too simplistic. How do you start? The next time you eat something, don't have any carbs. And then the next time you eat after that, same thing. Lather, rinse, repeat. Excuse me, I have to take this. I'm so sorry. Hello, this is Casey. I'm good. I tell you, I'm really in the middle of something, but I bet I know why you're calling. Try 4460. Correct. Okay. Correct. Thanks. Okay, bye. Sorry about that. Again, live television's part of my other world. I really apologize for all the breaks. Okay, so Jean, Keto Living for Beginners, Facebook page. Thank you, Jean. Keto Living for Beginners. Go over there. Check it out. Lots of really good knowledge there. And Jean is dedicated, okay? Jean is a dedicated person. So go to Keto Living for Beginners. All right? And you will get some good help. Farmer Mima, I'm always talking about keto on Facebook and YouTube because of my progress, and I have lots of people starting keto too, and you're so excited. You know what? That's the great thing. There are a couple of people around me who have started it, and that tickles me to death. And that's how this is going to just keep growing. Okay, someone has asked, organic, please. I'm sorry. We get organic food when it's available and when it's what we want to buy. You don't have to do organic. In an ideal world, everything would be. But you don't have to do this organic. You don't have to eat grass-fed beef. You don't have to have, blah, blah, blah. Stop the bleeding, first of all. Just cut back on the carbs. A fist-sized portion of non-starchy vegetables pre-cooking a day, 2 fist size of leafy greens a day, fatty sources of protein. That means beef with the fat, chicken with the skin, eggs with the yolks, bacon and sausage and pork chops with the fat, and chuck roasts rather than filet mignon, and full-fat cheese, 2 ounces a day max. It's not unlimited. Keep it very simple. And if you can go organic, great. If you can go locally sourced organic, better. If you can grow it in your backyard, even better. If you can get locally sourced pork and beef and locally sourced free-range chickens, fantastic. If you've got chickens in your backyard, even better. So keep it simple. Exactly. Organic is best, but it's not necessary. That has nothing to do with the body's physiology of burning glucose or ketones. Thank you, Jean. See, she knows everything. Oh, Angel just asked to join the group. Kim, hey, Kim. And cook in butter and olive oil. Now, I do cook sometimes in coconut oil. Coconut oil is on page 4, but as a cooking medium, a sauteing medium, not as a additive to your food. Linda Patterson writes, keto has been great for my house too. Pantry is empty, easy to keep neat. I have energy to do housework, laundry, and cooking, then still play ball with the teens. Awesome. Our food bill has gone down. It continues to go down. We produce less waste in every way that you can think. But that's not insignificant. We produce less household waste. Our footprint in the city dump is small. You know what? It's kind of like this. We turned our yard, we have no turf, no sod. There's no grass. We've, over the last 3 years, been turning it over to a totally mulched base, area appropriate plantings. Maybe I'll do one of my things outside and you can see our front garden and our back garden. You've seen our pond. And I was thinking about the other day as I was outside picking up twigs and stuff. I heard all the lawn equipment going around in the neighborhood. You know, lawn services, blowers blowing, lawn mowers going, big lawn mowers going, weed whackers going. And I thought, wow, that is a lot of carbon. That's a lot of money to spend. And that's a lot of big trucks hauling this big equipment in. And I thought, we don't have to do any of that. You know, the diet, you know, we had an electric lawnmower, which we don't even need anymore. So we are producing less waste. We're producing less carbon issues. We are producing less to go to the dump, which means the can doesn't have to go to the curb as often, which means the big giant truck doesn't have to stop at our house, gets better gas mileage. And the kitchen waste we have goes to the compost bin. Because we're not buying packaged foods as a rule. I mean, there are very few packages that come into this house. Mostly the wrappings of cheese. Okay, rant over. Casey, don't you think cutting protein after big weight loss helps break the stalls? Protein, if you're going to eat nothing else, this is what Dr. Westman says. If you're cast away on an island and you have no options, eat protein first, find some protein. Your body must have protein. Okay? If there's only one thing you're going to eat. So but protein can be it should be self-regulating. So Dr. Finney never tells anybody how much protein to eat, no matter what their gender, age, weight, body makeup is. There is a formula. It's very broad, so as to almost be, who can even, I think it's 0.8 grams of protein to 1.5 grams of protein per kilogram of lean body mass. So 0.8 to 1.5, that's a 100% spread. So listen to your body. I just make sure that I eat good sources of protein. So I don't think cutting protein would be a good idea. Not arbitrarily. Not say, oh, I'm just going to cut back on my protein. I eat until I'm satiated. I just make sure my protein comes with fat. I don't know if that answers the question, but no, I have not actively tried to cut protein. Xing for answers, real easy to shop too. Basically, no interior oils, since no canned bakery processed fruit, absolutely. You know, I haven't been to the store since my husband left April 30th, except to get some dog food for Atticus, who's now the most spoiled dog on the East Coast. So I got some fancy refrigerated dog food for him. And I'll be making our dog food going forward. But yeah, it's easy. Our fridge is nearly empty. I mean, we have like 4 types of cheese, heavy cream, a few condiments, bacon. Our freezer is full though. Both of our freezers are full. So we're eating meat and fat and some eggs and cheese. Jean, how many of us know how much lean body mass we have? Yeah, nobody. You can get a DEXA scan, which I wish I had done. At the beginning, that would have been interesting to have a DEXA scan done that gives you your, like they've done the Biggest Loser, shows your body fat, your interior, your visceral fat, as opposed to your subcutaneous fat, and then your lean body mass. So yeah, I don't know how much my lean body mass is. Just eat good sources of protein when you're hungry and stop when you're satiated. It'll self-regulate. Protein raises insulin. Part of the excessive protein turns into glucose. So protein is essential. Manuel, Era, that is a little bit too broad of a statement. Protein eaten more than you need can be processed much as carbohydrates are. More research needs to be done, but that is too broad a statement, I believe. I think if all I ate was bits of protein, I don't think it would raise my insulin as long as I wasn't overeating the protein. Hear what I'm saying? I think. Kim, Darren, try a beef or chicken bouillon so you may need more salt. Avocados for potassium. Take magnesium supplements. Hope this helps. Yes, very often that draggy feeling, if you're having the shakes, if you're having a headache. My son, who's doing keto, he called me and said, hey, Mama, happy Mother's Day. I said, what's wrong? He says, I'm on day 3 of keto. I said, get you some bouillon. Get you some added salt. Yes, ma'am. He said, oh, and by the way, it might be all that wine I drank last night. So could be 2 things going on there. He's done keto before, and he kind of fell off of it. And it takes many of us at bats. But I'm really happy he's back. Right, excessive protein. Yeah, excessive protein. Thank you for clarification. Thank you. My bad if I missed the word excessive. I know I can't afford a DEXA scan either. Well, I don't know how much they are. I guess we could have afforded it, but I wasn't going to spend the money on it because I didn't know this would work. I wish I had known this was going to work. I wish I'd known. Farmer Mima, I had one of those scans when I was 30 pounds lower than my highest weight and my BMI was 51. Wow. Farmer Mima, can you share how much it cost? I'm just curious. I know different parts of the country will be different. Yeah, Darren, definitely increase your sodium. Dr. Finney says we need 5 grams of sodium a day. The average American probably gets 1.5 or 2. So we need a lot more sodium than we're taking in. Because with the sodium goes the magnesium and calcium and all the other all the minerals. I like the gray salt better than the pink. Seems more satisfying. Yeah, people have different tastes in salt. And there are salt stores now. Just like there are olive oil stores. Just like there have been jelly bean stores. Ma Kettles 1962. In the past, I've asked my family, if you must have Fritos, please hide them. Now I could take a bath of them in them and not eat one. Wonderful. People find it hard to believe. Everyone thinks that they're the only one that has an issue with food or a particular food. We all do. There's nobody here that doesn't have an issue or had an issue with a group of foods or a type of food. There's not a person here who thought they couldn't do it because I can't give up fill in the blank. Oh, I couldn't possibly do that. I can't give up chips. No way. Oh, I can't do that. My family is Italian. We love pasta. We can't do that. My family's Asian. We have rice every day. We can't do that. I'm an American. I can't give up a burger and fries. Guess what? You're not the only one that thinks that. We all thought it. Please raise your hand if you thought that. And now Ma Kettles 1962 can take a bath in Fritos and not want one. Okay? We all thought it. We're wrong. My husband and I went to a Mexican restaurant yesterday. And we did our normal thing. No chips, please. And we got a meal with no carbs. We just said, do this, take away the rice, and give us extra pico de gallo. It was great. Now, we were talking to the waitress. And she was saying, oh, and she was saying in Spanish and was conversing with my husband, oh, you're doing the no carbs, yes. Oh, I could never do that. I couldn't give up chips. And my husband was explaining to her, you can, and I'm Colombian, he says, and I thought I couldn't give up rice and beans and all the, fried yuca and papas and all this. And so he's saying, yeah, you can. Oh, no, I couldn't. So, she was not ready to hear that. So when she walked away, he says, why won't people just realize that you can? I said, honey, because it's hard. And I actually knew that low carb was a better way for me to eat because I tried it many times and would have some success. And then I'd cave. But for years I said, well, I'm not going to do it anymore because I can't imagine going to a Mexican restaurant and not enjoying baskets, plural, of chips with my husband. That was actually my little thought process. I can't imagine that I could go the rest of my life without having chips with my husband at a Mexican restaurant. And there we were sitting in a Mexican restaurant. We did not eat chips, and it's been 3.5 years. And 3 years for him. Everyone thinks that they are the one that can't do it because they particularly like a particular food. We all are addicted to carbs. We're all addicted to sugar. That's why we got in the state we were in. Our brains running on glucose act differently than our brains running on ketones. When you're running on ketones, your brain's not constantly telling you to get me some more glucose. Think of the fire analogy. Think of your brain as a campfire. You can burn the campfire with dried leaves and pine cones very effectively, but you better keep shoveling in pine cones and leaves because they burn up really fast. Okay? That's your brain on glucose. Your brain on ketones is being happy with a log, a nice hickory or oak log, and you can throw it on there and walk away. And your brain loves it. Okay? This is different. When you get over, when you start burning ketones, keep your carbs low, your brain stops telling you to send more Fritos or pasta or fries or chips or potatoes. It's science. It's physiological. It's the way it is. It's physiological. Because people are addicted to carbs. We are, even though we would have sworn we are not, our bodies are programmed to do this. It's evolution. We're getting near the end, and I don't want to, go on to this more, but get the art and science of low carbohydrate living. It will explain why. Okay, I don't have it in front of me right now. I'm hoping. Well, I'm going to be meeting, and I'm going to be having dinner with Dr. Stephen Finney the end of this week. I'm pretty excited. Get the book. It explains the physiology. Dr. Westman's approach on the white coat video was what got me started. It was so pure and simple. And he just something the way he says that when he said that would work, I just believe him. And I believe him to this day. The book, The Art and Science of Low Carbohydrate Living, explained for me the physiology. And that's when it really clicked. I was already losing weight, but I said, oh, I wasn't crazy all those years. I was crazy. The carbs made me crazy. A ginger parrot. I fell off the wagon a couple of weeks ago. A week's back. Oh, shoot. Couldn't see it. Thank you, Pam. I intend to have a rockin' time on my cruise. I'm getting pretty excited. I'm printing up our Sea Pass, whatever it's called, today, and our luggage things. I'm going to pack. Pretty excited. How lucky are we to have this vessel of knowledge? I can't wait to hear what you have to say when you come. I can't wait to hear what I find out. I'm really excited about it. What an opportunity. Hey, Kim, went to Mexican restaurant the other night, ordered combo meat fajitas without rice and beans, lots of sour cream, guacamole, pico de gallo, yummy. How is this suffering? I have not missed the chips. I have not missed the rice. And we had a delicious meal with cheese sauce and hot sauce. Denise loves it, writes that is exciting. I hope it turns into an interview for us to watch. I'm going to ask, I don't know whether, you never know how people will take that request. Don't forget to bring a coat on your cruise. Bummer. I don't own a coat. I own a leather jacket. I'll just wrap myself in a blanket. My husband and I will stand there under blankets together looking at the bow like, I'm the king of the world. I have a serious trust issue with doctors, so I would not have attempted this without having stumbled upon you. Oh, well, thank you, Shelby. I'm not trying to diss doctors, but yeah, I've become very skeptical of medical advice in general. Not because they're evil, but because many doctors are just misinformed. And some really just want to write scripts. Thank you. I intend to have a great time. Kay Cavazos asked Dr. Finney about open heart surgery in this diet. Yikes. Okay, chicken breast is very lean. So maybe, I guess, just because it's not particularly yummy, you eat a spoonful of coconut. You know, I eat chicken thighs now with the skin. Much more yummy, much more flavorful. Yeah, a chicken breast is pretty bland, even with the skin. So we don't get chicken breasts as a rule. I'm so excited about my new clothes, guys. I'm really excited about my new clothes for the trip. Don't miss bread and chips. Yeah, you think you're going to, and you don't. And not only do you stop craving them, then you stop thinking about them, and then sometimes you see them on other people's plates. You go, look at all that bread. Ooh. Asking for answers. I'm not missing the 3-inch layer of fat smeared all over my body. Good point. Mike Manuel Era. Body fat is a tank of energy, and it feels awesome carrying seemingly limitless energy. It's the truth. You have tens of thousands of calories of energy, even on a lean body of body mass. My lean husband has tens of thousands of calories of energy. Don't eat stuff that's boring. My mom started keto once she saw me doing it, and when she talked to her doctor, he said he did not know about it, but it was working for her to keep at it. Great, at least an open-minded doctor. Some will say, you're fired. Gail, we're going on an Alaska cruise. So we're going to go up near, well, not near Karen, because Alaska is a huge state. And so we'll be skimming the, water, but I'm looking forward to it. I hope to have some pictures taken of me in the new clothes. I don't photograph particularly well. So, and I still don't like having my picture taken. I'll tell you the truth. I won't lie. Jean, I have a little anxiety about going to our family doctor appointment on the 22nd. We've already decided between us that regardless of whether he approves or not, we're not stopping keto, period. Good. Yep, Pamela, I fry my chicken thigh in lard. A bit messy, but so yummy. Absolutely. We have purchased lard, which we've used. We keep reserved bacon fat, which we use for frying. Yeah, it's a wonderful cooking medium. Absolutely, so flavorful. Dark meat and crispy skin, yes. Gene O'Connor, BS? Uh-oh. You calling BS on somebody? Ooh, Gene. Kim, it's true. The cravings stop almost immediately and you don't want the bread, chips, and garbage. When the doctor, Kenneth Hudson, hey, I'm so happy to see me in here. Went to the doctor the other day, lost 5 pounds. Then she told me she will talk to me next month about nutrition. Can't believe I just lost 5 pounds. Yay. Oh, Deborah, I'm sorry. I forget that you're Deborah. Sorry. Okay, guys, need to start wrapping up here. Got some stuff to do today. Getting ready for the trip. I will not see you guys for a bit. Y'all take care of each other. Thank you so much. I know some patrons are on here. You guys are going to get special treats for sure. As far as, photos or videos or postings or whatever. I'm going to see what kind of internet connection I'm going to have. I bought the internet package, but who knows how that's going to work. And I now might unplug for a bit. I think my husband and I are just going to go unplug a little bit. Okay, guys, take it easy. Be kind to yourselves. Keep your carbs 20 or below. Check out Jean's Ketogenic Living for Beginners Facebook group. Eat fatty sources of protein. Eat only when you're hungry. Go to my blog and get a copy of page 4 and 5. It's at the top of the thing under resources. Have a great time. And I will come back with stories. Okay? And I'll try to find out information. I'll try to remember to ask about the open heart surgery. That sounds pretty dramatic. So I hope everyone's okay. Thanks, guys. And remember, don't blame keto for what the net carbs did. I like it. I really do like it. Okay. Hasta la vista.